BlacKkKlansman is the latest film from director Spike Lee, and it's based off the true story of Ron Stallworth, the first police detective in Colorado who managed to just see an ad in the paper to join the KKK, and he called them up on the phone and joined. Ron Stallworth would call them on the phone, but then they'd send in Adam Driver to portray Ron Stallworth so that they can infiltrate the KKK and learn some new things about them, and it's a premise that's really crazy to hear about, but it actually happened. And for that reason, I was really excited for this movie because I had no idea about this story before and I wanted to know all about it. And to be honest, I had never seen a Spike Lee movie ever, and this would be my first one. After seeing this one though, I definitely want to go back and revisit his filmography because this movie was fantastic. I really loved this movie. One thing I gotta mention first is John David Washington portraying Ron Stallworth in this movie. He's the son of Denzel Washington, and I hope, like his father, he continues to pursue acting as a long-time career because he was fantastic as this role. He's got a lot of conflicting emotions to him because he's working for the police and there's a few racist cops there, but he's still trying to do right and fit in with them. But then he also has the side of him that wants to empower black people, go to these meetings supporting all rights for all people. And in that sense, John David Washington did a very good job with a lot of the drama in this film, but also with a lot of the humor. There's actually a very surprising amount of humor in this film, more than you'd expect, I guess, and I was still able to laugh at it. I think they really did nail the comedy, but also the drama as well. It's a really good balancing of tones. They only use the humor when you might need a moment of levity because you're seeing a lot of KKK related stuff, so they put it in and it's actually pretty good. I also like Ron Stallworth's relationship with Patrice Dumas, played by Lauria Harrier, who is in Spider-Man Homecoming, and she did a very good job in this because these two characters are a little alike, but then they're also a little bit different because there's one person who likes the police and actually thinks they can make a difference, and then another who thinks that they're all bad. So you get a lot of good conversations between these two, and I actually really did like their romance at the end of the day. It's well acted and they had good chemistry with each other. If anything, I think I could have seen a little bit more of it, honestly. Also, Ron Stallworth's chemistry with Flip Zimmerman, played by Adam Driver, they're police partners, and he did a very good job in this also. Adam Driver's continuing to pick projects that are just perfect for him, and this is just another film to fit that criteria for him. He did a very good job in this movie. He did a very good job in this film, and he also has a couple of the hard parts, which is infiltrating the KKK and hanging out with them and trying to be the Ron Stallworth on the phone. And even though this is based on a true story, this movie still had me in a lot of suspense because at any moment he could be caught, he could mess up, and you never really know if that's going to happen, if a KKK member is onto him or anything. So this movie actually does have a lot of suspense, at least for me. I was honestly clinging to my chair each time he had to meet up with them because I was like, oh, please don't catch him, please don't catch him. And the KKK members also did a very good job in this movie. There's a few of them that really go for it as far as the vile, evil kind, but it's not really over the top annoying, at least. I thought it just kind of fit perfectly for this film, what the movie was going for. But by far, the best KKK member in this movie, David Duke, Topher Grace, oh my god, he was fantastic here. He did a very good job. Like, for the most part, they're kind of just portraying him as just this normal, chill dude, and then all of a sudden he'll just say something that's terrible and vile, and you're like, oh god, but you said it in such a, just kind of a low, calm way. And they didn't portray him as like this, a supervillain kind of guy, which a movie could have easily done. They portrayed him as just like a normal, chill guy who just so happens to hate black people. And Topher Grace really nailed it with his performance. You want to hate the man you're seeing on screen because it's David Duke, obviously, but because he's portrayed by Topher Grace, there's a form of likability to him where you're like, if only you weren't such a racist, evil man, because you might actually get along with a lot of people. So the acting was all very spot on. The direction from Spike Lee I thought was also very good here. There's a lot of great editing choices as well in this film, and there's also a great score in the background that was really good. Like, it was a better score than I was expecting out of a biography film. Like, it was fantastic. The cinematography also looks very good. There's a lot of great shots here that I just really admired and had my eyes mesmerized to the screen over. They really did a good job nailing the time period that they were in. Never once did I think they were still in 2017 when they filmed it. Like, it just felt like the exact time period that they were in. And the story had me intrigued ever since the movie opened. It opens in a very loud way. That's all I'll say. It involves a celebrity cameo that I wasn't expecting to see, but that was a great scene. That was a great way to open the movie, honestly. And from then on, I was just hooked to this film's premise. I was just hooked on board with it throughout. There's literally only one scene that I can think of having any problems with as far as length. It's a little early on in the movie, though. There's like this huge meeting that people are having, and it kind of goes on a little bit too long, and I know why it's in there, but I think maybe they could have shortened it. There's also some weird editing choices there. That's like the one scene in the movie where I didn't agree with the editing in it, but that's literally one scene. One scene in the movie that honestly still works with the context of everything else. I enjoyed this movie a lot. I was hooked in with the drama. I was clinging onto my chair because of the suspense, and then I found myself laughing at a couple parts too because of this movie's surprising sense of humor. The acting is all very good. It gets you hooked with the characters instantaneously, and the direction by Spike Lee is phenomenal. And then the movie does something even better, which is have one of the best endings of the year that I can see people also hating and saying it's one of the worst endings of the year. And of course, they can think that, whatever. I think it was a fantastic way to end the movie. I'm sure there's still some people that haven't heard, but I'm sure a lot of people have already talked about it and complained about it. All I'll say is they show some footage from a real event to tie it all together, tie this film's message and bring it home. When that ending happened, I was just like, oh shoot. Like, I was at a loss for words at what they were showing, and showing certain people talking about it as well. It was just like, yeah. Like, you think about what you just seen before in the movie, you think about what Spike Lee just showed you with the real footage, and you're like, yeah, like the entire theater was just kind of dead at that point. No one was speaking, just you could literally hear a pin drop at that point. The image that it shows at the end of the film is kind of haunting. It's all of what Spike Lee was going for, though, so I applaud him for it. He went there and he didn't give a crap about what someone probably told him, like, well, maybe we shouldn't put this in because some people might be upset. Like, no, screw that. We're putting it in anyways. It's important. And that's why BlacKkKlansman is one of the most important movies out right now. It lost to The Meg and Slender Man this weekend, but I really wish that it didn't. It's such an important film to go out and see. It's so phenomenally well made too. I'm gonna give BlacKkKlansman an A. The acting is phenomenal. This movie had me riveted from start to finish, and when that movie comes to its close, I was like, bravo. Literally the entire theater clapped after that. As soon as director Spike Lee came up, everyone clapped in the theater, which is very rare in movie theaters near me. Like, no one really ever clapped. Like, the last time someone clapped was like The Force Awakens, I guess. So please, go out and see BlacKkKlansman as soon as you can. It's a phenomenal film that everyone should go out and see. But if you've seen BlacKkKlansman, leave in the comments below what you thought of it. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.